you like NASCAR? Do you like A Tribe Called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Hey, buddy, if your car making a sound like this, you might want to get you some power steering fluid and check out the Urban Conservative podcast.
Are you repulsed by the idea of drag queen story time at your local library, but enjoy Carol Baskin TikTok memes? Then you would enjoy the Urban Conservative. Do you want to slap?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday night. You know what time it is. It's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast right here on TUC. You're joined by the TUC twins. I'm Raheem, Architect Soto, joined by my brother from the same mother, same father, same mother, no other. What's good, bro?
Everything good, especially the Urban Conservative tonight. We got a special guest on.
Yeah,
had a
it's
dope
Monday
morning
night,
show. So yeah, man,
right,
I'm feeling pretty good about it. Shouts out to everybody that supports what we do. You can see the website on your screen, tuconservative.com. Our mission is to expose the BS, continue to share conservative values and principles to urban communities across this great nation of ours. You can support the platform by visiting tuconservative.com. Drop us a cash app to keep the dice rolling, $ TU Conservative. As always, jump in the comments. Let us know where you are watching from. Shouts out to Mary Helen and the whole Rocky Mount crew. We see everybody in Rocky Mount. That's what's up. Appreciate y'all jumping on. I see the Brooklyn Ways in the building. Hola, como esta? It is a very, very good night here at the Urban Conservative. And before we bring on our guests, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to bring your attention to the website that you see on your screen, which is aliforcongress.com. Yours truly has decided that it is time for everyday people to represent the folks in DC. So we need you, ladies and gentlemen, to go to aliforcongress.com. We are asking for everybody to drop $24 in to support our mission of sending me, your good friend Abdul Ali, up to DC to represent the 12th Congressional District. Again, aliforcongress.com is the website. You click that donate button and you get hooked right on up. Other than that, what's good, bro? What's the word?
I like the way you did that. You did that very professionally. That was very good. That was very professional.
You like that one?
I like the way you did that. I was, plugs are plugs. I like the way you plugged though. So tonight we got a special guest on the show. And I think it's good, right? One of the things before, and I'll be honest, this was before you even decided to run. We kind of pride ourselves on talking to people that do want to run and seeing what makes them tick. What do they feel qualify them for being leadership, right? And a lot of the times, I must say, a lot of the people we've spoken to have actually won their races and have actually, not all of them, right? But a lot of them have went on, right? We're talking about some congressmen, some senators, some state house reps, some city council people, some trustees, some town leadership, right? Some district attorneys in some major counties. So I kind of like getting to know candidates, right? And that's one thing that I like about doing the show is that we get to talk to candidates and ask real questions, right? Because these are real people, and I think the candidates on the left have been very non-committal to coming on. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been very. I wonder why they're so scared to come on the platform, but. We have a good
I
show
don't
tonight, bro.
know.
We have a
I don't
great show
know, but
tonight.
ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show tonight. If you don't live in North Carolina, then you wouldn't know that we just been redistricted. The congressional maps have been redrawn. So now it's time for people to step up, start putting their name out there to jump in the race. One of the areas, a big section of our state, the northeast corner of North Carolina, is in the 1st Congressional District. And we are honored to have with us for the first time on the Urban Conservative, Army Colonel retired Laurie Buckhout, who is running for U.S. House District 1. Laurie Buckhout, welcome to the Urban Conservative. How you doing?
What's up, twins? Thanks for having me on tonight, and congratulations to a duel for your run for Congress. We're going to tear it up. Looking forward to serving with you in the people's house, my man.
Amen. Hallelujah to that. So we're going to jump right in. So for those that haven't had an opportunity to jump to your website, which they see on your screen real quick right there,
Nice.
you are a United States Army colonel, full bird colonel at that, I'm assuming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So for the folks that don't know who you are, go back a little bit. How does Laurie Buckhout end up as a full bird colonel in the United States Army? Take us all the way back to the childhood. Where did you come from? All that good stuff.
All right. I'll make it as fast as I can. Bottom line, I'm an Army brat. My dad and mom are both in World War II. My dad was a POW in World War II. Tried to escape 3 times. When he died at the age of 99, he had all of his own teeth except for one that was knocked out by a POW guard on his 3rd escape. His 4th escape, he left the tooth and got out. So, yeah, exactly. He was pretty BA. Then Korean War and Vietnam after that. They retired in the early 70s when I was a little girl down in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. That's where I grew up on a farm with a lot of Hereford Angus cattle down there. Went to school on an ROTC scholarship, James Madison University. It is the ECU of Virginia, just like it. Started out as a teacher's school, the whole 9 yards. Went off to the Army, went out to Germany, and the Cold War was there in the Soviet Union. And you get a good look at totalitarianism, the wall fell, you see all that nonsense. Got married to an infantryman, have 2 kids, 2 boys, one's 21, one's 26. Did 2 combat tours in Iraq and then got sent back to the Pentagon. Now, a tour is 6 months, so that's a year. So did a year in Iraq as a battalion commander. Ended up having 800 folks under my command by the time the, our tour of the war was over. And for punishment, got sent back to the Pentagon and got promoted there. But learned how to deal with Congress and big budgets and kind of how to pull the levers of government. That's why they send senior officers there, so you can learn what defense looks like on the world stage and work very tightly with government and legislators. So it was a real education. My kids were still in school up in Northern Virginia, so we stuck up there. I started a business, sold it. My youngest son was graduating 2020 in high school, so it was time for us to get the heck out of there. So sold my business 2019, and we had a new house in North Carolina in January 2021. So
nice. So let me back up a little bit. Most folks, when they hear somebody that's like a Army kid, Army brat, was that meaning your family was conservative, Republicans of sort? Is that like the bloodline was always a thing for y'all?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I don't think our dad would have let us be anything else. My first vote at the age of 18 was for Ronald Reagan. My parents and I went down to the, the polling place, went down to the voting booth, and they're like, "You got Reagan, right?" I'm like, "Mom, come on. Of course I have Reagan." So
nice.
I was Young Americans for Freedom in college. It was a pretty new organization back then. And I never looked back, never voted for anybody but a conservative, and never gave money to anybody but a conservative, did my absentee votes, the whole 9 yards. So absolutely 100%.
So I heard the word, and that's a big deal for those of you who've never been in the military before. A battalion commander is a very big deal.
Hold up. Time out.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
the Shenandoah Valley, right? The only thing I know about the Shenandoah Valley is the drive, right? I've never stopped there. right? I think there might have been the get. Isn't that where you've always warned me not to get stuck needing gas on the drive down? Like, isn't
That is
that about
correct.
where you
I have
want? You're like,
always.
hey, listen, man, get gas. But why is that though?
It's a lot of little towns in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, a lot of it's a whole lot like Eastern North Carolina, small towns. Back in the 70s, it was a very, repressed area, I guess, where, of
Mm,
course, this was during the
Mm,
recession. So it's not a bastion of wealth, it's a bastion of farms, small communities, people who take care of each other. And, moving there was making family. The only reason we didn't stay there was, frankly, things were getting pretty crazy, we thought, in Northern Virginia and Virginia as far as government went. We
mm.
were just hating that liberal slant. When we were in the 2020 election, we had our Trump signs vandalized. We voted for Trump 4 times. And, if there are never Trumpers out there, that's fine. But we're solid conservatives and we believe in supporting conservative candidates. So, anyway, had our Trump signs vandalized. And then they burned a police car. Antifa burned a police car, and a bunch of illegal immigrants did, 4 miles from our house, 4 or 5 miles from our house in Manassas. And it wasn't even reported on the news. They were covering all that stuff up. And so
mm.
we're like, you know what? We always have loved North Carolina. The military loves North Carolina. North Carolina loves veterans. My husband Paul had a lot of time here at Fort Bragg. He was Delta and Airborne, all that kind of stuff. So we're like,
Mm.
there you go. Let's do it. So love it.
Did you ever serve in South Korea? Did you ever get to go over there?
No, my husband spent time there, but that's where you were, right, Adul?
That's where I was. Yes, indeed. That's exactly where I was. I was curious about that because we were part of a battalion. It was the 2nd Battalion, 17th Field Artillery, and
Mm.
our battalion motto when we got a new battalion commander, it changed, but it was like he would call the battalion to attention, and then you'd hear "Steel," right? Because we were the Steel Battalion. And then he changed it, and then it was like "Steel." I was like, wait a minute.
We liked it quicker.
Let Yeah, he liked it quicker. So I'm just curious about this. From seeing things in Afghanistan and over there in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that from that position, what what was the big learning lesson of actually being in combat? Like, what was the big takeaway from you for that?
I spent a lot of time in the Cold War and was face to face with East German soldiers, with Russian officers, and that kind of thing. And as a youngster, I guess I was 23, 24 years old, and I'm seeing these people face to face as you're going through to Berlin, which used to be part of East Germany back then. You travel through and you'd have to salute and give your ID card and papers to people like that. As a young person, relatively young, I'm looking and thinking, I want to kill this guy and he wants to kill me, right? But it was abstract because you weren't actually killing each other. Um,
Mm,
what was astonishing about being in the Middle East in that environment that a lot of Americans do not get is that there's a lot of death cult over there. And these people really do want to kill you. They want to kill you for what you believe in. They want to kill the Israelis and Jews for what they believe in. And it's not playing around. They want to kill you. And a lot of Americans, having been brought up in this peaceful country, have no idea what that's really like.
You know what I throw out there all the time, Ali. People dress up like Genghis Khan for Halloween, and I'm like, y'all do realize he killed like 80 million people. Like, like people, how easily they displace these things, right? Like, we get
Oh
so
yeah.
detached from it that easily. It's interesting you point that out. Like, yeah, the average person may just well take that for granted. Go ahead, Ali. I know you had something else.
Well, it sounds like to me, and from what, because I never went over, Iraq, Afghanistan, I never had to serve there, but it's not hyperbole. It sounds like when they say like groups like Hamas and Al Qaeda and all these other groups literally want to kill us for our freedom. That doesn't sound hyperbolic. Am I wrong?
No, no. In fact, I'll give you an example. There was a woman who was interpreting for the army folks when we got up north of Baghdad, a place called Balad, and we had a uh, Iraqi woman come in who spoke English and said, "Hey, I'll interpret for you," because the things were heating up. People were trying to kill us just during the ground war, but then afterwards with IEDs and lobbing mortars at us and all kinds of crazy stuff and sniping at us on the roads and RPGs. So we desperately wanted to try to get along with them and make them stop killing us. So we're like, look, let's bring them in here. We'll give them sandbags. We'll pay them with U.S. dollars. That's a very big deal because there was no currency at the time. So anyway, this woman's interpreting for us. And then one day she doesn't show up. So, they send a kind of patrol out to see what's going on. And it turns out the village elders had doused her with kerosene and set her on fire for talking to us. So that's what they do to their own, So that's what they do to their own. And Hamas does that to their own. They use their own children as human shields. And I mean, you can hear Palestinian women talking to their children and about their children and grandchildren that they want them to grow up to be martyrs and die for the cause. I mean, that is the mentality. And Americans are like, oh, come on, these poor people. Look, you know what? War is hell. It really is. And if you're going to rain death in on one country, don't expect them to do nothing and wait. I mean, it's going to happen. It is sad. It's a proportional response. And Hamas knew what they were getting into. So
Sure.
I hate it, but it's real.
Well, let me, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, right around the 16-minute mark, we're talking with Laurie Buckhout, who is running for U.S. House District 1 here in the great state of North Carolina. If you have a question, feel free to jump in the comment section and we'll try to get to your question for the good colonel here. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So you moved to North Carolina. You decide that running for Congress, the Pentagon wasn't enough torture, so you decide to run for Congress. What made you decide to run for office? What was that about? What is that whole thing?
Okay, I'm gonna toss something back at you because you get it. Raheem, have you served in the military?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so your brother knows that there is an ethos of service, and it sort of gets stuck in you, and it gets stuck in your heart, and it's hard to get out. And it's a weird thing, but a lot of veterans do go back into some sort of service. I don't know if it's for comfort, if it's for internal happiness. It's kind of where we feel best. It's like, you know what, you put a retriever out there and throw balls for him. That's his instinct. That's what he wants to do, right? He's going to want to make you throw balls all day for him. And we feel a lot the same way. That's why a lot of veterans are going this way. It feels good to serve. And I feel that I have the experience after all these years. I ran a successful business after I retired from the military. I know how to run a business in the black. I know how not to spend money you don't have. I know how to drive prices down and drive overhead down, i.e. cleaning out bureaucracies. And I know international relationships and national military strategy. So I feel a sense of duty. Here's something else. I'm a mom. And as a parent, I look at the hopelessness that so many people think is permeating America right now. And it just makes me sick. And I feel that people like you guys and the people who go to these meetings that we go to and speak at, and Adul, I saw you last week. They're the patriots. They're standing up. They know there's a fight between good and evil right now, and it's a stark difference. And it's not like, oh, he's slightly wrong and they're slightly right. There's real bad. There's real evil out here. I don't want my kids to grow up with that, or my grandkids, and you guys don't either, because you're standing up and doing this.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ali. Hold on, and I say this to my brother off camera a lot of the times, and maybe you could share how you feel about this, but I think it benefits us as a country when people from the military get involved. I mean, let's be honest. Historically, our politicians were fighting in legit wars that just happened within a certain amount of time. So for me, it brings a level of comfort, right? To know that you have military veterans. And then secondly, people, entrepreneurs, like, how do you feel about entrepreneurs getting into the political space? Because obviously you guys, who have had successful businesses, Ali, you've ran businesses, we own companies, we've done things, and you've obviously had, Laura, you've had a successful business. So how important is that experience? We see career politicians that are in there now going on 40 years, and you say, well, what's your experience in the real world? And they really can't respond, right? Because you've been in Congress since I was 5.
Right.
So, what's your take on that about, the experience that's necessary, the military and the business experience? How important is that?
Look, you know what? I know Adul's first paychecks were probably about $500 a month, maybe on a good day, right? And you were busting your butt and working 80-hour weeks, not 40-hour weeks, and you're lucky if you got any sleep at all. You know, young soldiers, 18 years old, going into combat and fighting 24 hours a day and getting shot at and getting Purple Hearts and maybe coming out of it alive, are getting $500 a month. And then you look at congressmen who go up there and, you know, work on fat cat deals and somehow end up as multimillionaires on $174,000 a year, whatever it is, right? And then they ask for more. So I think the founding fathers, you know, none of them were really career politicians. You know, they started out as successful businessmen and this and that, soldiers. And I think signing the front and the back of a check makes you accountable. For you guys who are entrepreneurs, you know what it's like to not pay yourself. Your employees get paid first, and you always get paid last, right? And so I think that's important. And you know that you can't run a business on credit. You know, you'll drive your business into the ground. So you know how to balance a budget, and you know how to make a profit, which you know in government means that you have a surplus. That's a profit. That's people's money you're not spending. That's a surplus, and you and I know how to do that. As far as the military goes, it's that sense of duty. It's that sense of bringing together a team, which I think the Republicans need right now. And Abdul, you and I have talked about that, that we really need to work in bringing folks together and coalescing. And it's not making peace with rhinos or any of that crap. You know, it's making folks get along and go behind closed doors so you can get stuff done. Because right now, with the infighting, you know, Democrats embrace all the crazies and they bring them all together, no matter how crazy they are. And, you know, we're the so-called rational party, but we're too disunified to get stuff done. We need to get that out of the way and force people to come together. And veterans are good at that, I think.
I think so too. I got to ask you a question. So when I was in middle school or thereabouts, we had something called, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was the lead on this. It was the American Physical Fitness Test, a presidential physical fitness test. And now I was in Mecklenburg at a veterans event, and the general, it was a 4-star general that was talking, Army general, and he said that 78 thereabouts % of young Americans are not physically fit for military service. What do we do to fix that? Like, how? I mean, I know it's random, but that's terrifying to me. Like 80% of the kids couldn't even, you know, and back then it was push-ups, sit-ups in a 2-mile run, you know?
You know, I think it's a matter of priorities, and you nailed it. But okay, so when I was in the Army, you remember this. All right, you had a training week that was, say, 60 hours long, right? And you had to get a certain number of things that were prioritized into that week. And the stuff that didn't matter to the commander or wasn't really all that important would fall off the training schedule, right? So these days, if you're talking a training schedule or a school curriculum, somehow gender identity is at the top of that list, right? Drag queen story hours at the top of that list. Physical fitness is not on the list. Basic, you know, advanced math is not on the list. And frankly, as a real insult, in some states, advanced math is being called racist, so they're just taking it off the curriculum already, you know, completely. So, you know, it's a matter of priorities. We are in a state of failing literacy and falling literacy since the establishment of the Board of Education. Our American literacy has fallen, and it's not a laughing matter. It's just so ironic. Right. American literacy has fallen continuously since the establishment of the Board of Education, 71 or 72 or something like that.
Yeah.
That should tell us something.
Right.
I don't think we need it.
Well, I'll tell you something I learned the other day. So I was kind of doing a little history research. The first iteration of a national board of education lasted about 2 months. When they found out how big and powerful that group got that quick, they were like, oh, no. And this is like late 1800s. They were like, no, we're not doing that. They shut it
early
down.
1900s. So, they was like, this ain't going to work. This is
really,
this ain't going to get it. Yeah.
And very interesting history. We covered it on the show because people think there's only one, you know, like it was one thing. It was like, no, you know, they tried this before and it didn't work. And, you know, you know, it's interesting because we say it used to be schoolhouse and it was literally houses. It was like a schoolhouse, and then it changed, you know, then it got really weird. But yeah, go ahead, bro. I know
Yeah.
you have one other thing before because we're on the back end.
No. Yeah, I gotcha. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with U.S. Army Colonel retired Laurie Buckhout about her run for the Congressional District 1 seat here in North Carolina. Now, before we give you the plug to tell people how they can support you, support what you're doing, it is time, Colonel Buckhout, for the lightning round. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know the routine here on the Urban Conservative. Whenever we have a first-time guest, they have to survive the lightning round, and then you get the screen all big to tell everybody how to support you. With that said, Colonel Buckhout, are you ready for your first Urban Conservative lightning round?
I guess I am. Let's hear it.
All right. First question in the lightning round. What was a better military show, MASH or Hogan's Heroes?
Hogan's Heroes, classic, absolutely. Okay, quick story.
I took you for a masher.
No, my dad was in Stalag 13. I kid you not.
Wow. Okay.
I know, right? Hilarious.
Nice. Ra, go ahead.
Dynasty or The Young and the Restless?
Oh, God, Dynasty. Man, when I was in Germany at Dynasty. Love it.
Okay,
love
go
it.
ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, pizza or tacos?
Pizza.
She's a pizza lady. Okay,
Oh.
these are the things that people need to know. Okay.
But hey, who can turn down a taco but pizza?
Okay.
Fair.
Tony
ahead.
Danza, or Scott Baio?
Scott Baio. We're not
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
That's Scott Baio when
All right.
it pinches cheeks.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Who you got? Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
Oh man, Stallone. Well, sure, that's a tough one, man. I think I'm going to fail that. Oh man.
No,
So
Stallone
wait a
is
minute.
cool.
Do you think? So are we saying that Commando is not a better movie than Rambo?
Yeah, but what about Predator?
No. Commando, specifically Commando, with unlimited rounds.
You're right. You're right.
Rambo. Look. There was no guns made that ever shot that many bullets without reloading. That's the greatest. That's the greatest military forgery in history of a movie. Go ahead, Ali. What's your next one?
Well, I mean, they really all are.
Really, but
well, look,
that was great.
If you get a chance to go back and watch Rambo, it was Rambo Part 2, First Blood, where they sent him back to Vietnam, and then he shows up. There's a part at the end where he's got a 50 cal. And he's got, he wraps the rounds around his arm. If you notice, there's a part where his arm fills back up. I was like, wait a minute. So we watched it in HD the other day. Okay, last question in the lightning round, which is a multi-question. So you are stuck. Colonel Laurie is stuck on a desert island forever for the rest of your life. You get one meal for breakfast, one meal for lunch, one meal for dinner. You get one book and one album for the rest of your life. What's Colonel Laurie's breakfast every day?
Okay. Scrambled egg, bacon, orange juice, black coffee.
Fair. Lunch every day. What you got?
Okay. Lunch is pizza, pepperoni pizza, and a glass of milk.
Okay. Dinner.
Okay. Filet mignon, baked potato, asparagus, and a bottle of wine.
Demi-glace?
Yes, absolutely.
Yo, you know who gave that? You know who gave that very same response, don't you, Ra?
Who?
No, who?
Congressman Nick LaLota gave the same exact
Wow,
response.
he did. Wow. Yeah, we got to
No. It is uncanny. He gave the same exact response.
and he's a Navy guy. That's a Navy guy, too. So
Navy
interesting.
guy, huh?
He said,
yeah.
All right, so you got one book and one movie. What you going with? One book for the rest forever. That's all you got.
I mean, it's got to be the Bible. I mean, that is endless. That's endless. I mean, that's something new forever. So that's a good one. An album.
Yeah. Music.
I gotta say, it's not perfect, but for some reason, Fleetwood Mac Rumors is in my head.
Okay, that's a good album. That's a good. I actually listen to that album. That's not a bad album. Okay, Ali, she's won the lightning round.
Not bad. You have won the lightning round. Therefore, the entire screen is yours. Please, Colonel Buckhout, tell the people how they can support you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, first of all, if you got to support me, you got to support Abdul as well, because he's a conservative, real conservative, and he is going to kill it. So please support him as well. But you can support me at Laurie.Buckhout or LaurieBuckhoutForCongress.com. So www.LaurieBuckhoutForCongress.com, and look forward to having you guys stop there, read about me. Hey, if you like it, give me some money, I'm always available for email, a call. Hey, you can call my personal number, 571-722-3198. Any questions, let me know. Laurie.Buckhout, Buckhout, @gmail is my personal email. Look forward to questions and thoughts and things you hate, things you love, and anything that I can do to make you think about voting.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, there you see it on your screen. You can go to support Laurie Buckhout. It is LaurieBuckhoutForCongress.com is the website. And again, we appreciate you so, so very much. One thing we do like to let our guests know, Colonel Buckhout, is that time is the one thing you do not get more of. And we are eternally grateful for you taking some time out with us here on the Urban Conservative. We hope to have you back here on the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking with Colonel Laurie Buckhout, who is running for North Carolina's 1st Congressional District. Again, LaurieBuckhoutForCongress.com is the website. We will be live and direct with you all tomorrow morning for Top of the Morning, as always, here on the Urban Conservative. For my twin brother, that guy up there, Raheem Architect Soto, I'm Abdul Ali. That's Colonel Buckhout down there. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning for Top of the Morning. Peace and love, y'all.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.